we're north of Brisbane, just below Sunshine Coast, at Limba, just near the forestry there. So yeah, so we've got a really nice little spot out the back, and it's lovely.
Very, very nice spot to be, for sure. I think we might be about 4 hours apart. Would that be? Oh no, you said south of the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, so we're about 3.5, 4 from you. So depending on the run we have, but yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're in a very delightful spot. So tell me, Leanne, then, the Feng Shui Store and More, how did that come to be? When did you start the business, and how did it evolve into what it is today?
I was studying Feng Shui since about 2012, actually probably 2010. I started just playing around in that space, and then it just kind of progressed from there, that I got more involved with learning, more masters that I started learning with, traveling over to China. And at the time I was actually working in a major event, and I was the CEO for that major event. And I pretty much did burnout a few times. And my hubby said to me one day that he just didn't know who I was. And I kind of went, well, that's just really stupid, because I'm me. And then I kind of stepped back and I went, oh my gosh, like maybe this isn't, like maybe I am really not doing things very well at all. And I wasn't doing anything very well at all. So I basically knew I needed to resign. But when you've got something that's become such an identity for you, which that had, like the major events was such an identity for me, I just thrived on it. It's really hard to kind of leave something, and most professional women will go through that at some point, where it's like they know they need to leave, but they don't know what's next. And that's quite frightening at times. So, but my little 18-month-old granddaughter got retinoblastoma, which is a tumor cancer of the eye. And I quit my job within a day of that and went, I'm done. So, And so then my dad I helped care for my dad, but in the time I still needed to occupy myself and do stuff. And I still had clients that I was working with Feng Shui as well. So I just decided to go head on in and get really right into that, because I was really enjoying it. And I had some opportunities open up for us to be able to wholesale and import at the time from China, and had some masters helping me. And I just went, it was too big a opportunity to let go of. So so that's how it all came about.
Incredible. So you started as the consultant first, and then you added in the product side of it.
Yeah, we just had so many people couldn't find their products and things, and particularly here in Queensland, there was no one doing products. I mean, there was a couple of smaller spaces, but no one doing it to the degree that we could do it with wholesalers and things like that. So yeah, it was just like a wave of opportunities that just kept falling in our lap, and I just dragged my husband along for the ride. And so it's been great. I mean, there's been, it's like any business. There's moments where you kind of sit back and go, oh, should I be doing this? Shouldn't I? What do I want to do? But then, you have an awesome client, or you have something amazing happen, and you just know you're in the right space. So yeah.
And look, when you said that it was the catalyst for that massive change for you was what happened to your grandchild, how are they now?
She is turning 8 this year, and she is awesome. She is just amazing. And it was just such a, I mean, every family at some point, or everybody goes through something that just totally turns your entire life around. And she not only did that for me, but even my sons, for all of us. It was kind of like this whole big life lesson for everybody. And I have to say, I was challenged at first, because I'm a big believer in we create our reality. So we create what we need and what we have going on around us. So I really needed to work on that. And that probably took me nearly 12 months to go through and work through that whole, how did it come about? And was I part of that whole thing? But I just believe today that she had a little purpose for our whole family, and she fulfilled that little purpose and taught us that there was just so much more to life. And so that's just how I look at it today. Yeah.
And was she your first grandchild?
Yes, our first and only granddaughter. And then we had so Tammy had her, she was 80 months old, and then Tammy had a 3-month-old at the same time. So so we had babies, and we were, so Tam did an amazing job trying to juggle it all. I'm so proud of her. So so but it's just moments. It's just moments that just get you they just drop you on your butt and just go, what the hell are you doing? And you just wake up to reality. And it doesn't matter. At that point, you don't think about, well, what's going to happen? Like, I didn't think about money, I reckon, until probably 12 months after I left, because financially we were okay. So it wasn't until probably 12 months later I kind of went, oh, I probably need to think about doing something. So it just did not even occur to me. So it was just I'm done, I'm out, I'm gone. Yeah.
Good on you. It's a very bold move, and clearly there was exceptionally important reasons that you did it.
Yeah.
But how glorious the outcome from it, and of course that it was so beneficial for everybody to go through that and come out stronger than ever, including your granddaughter, which is
she's just amazing. She's an amazing young girl.
So happy to hear that, Leanne. So tell me then, when you were going through these massive changes, how was Feng Shui helping you with that process?
I think because I knew the energy in my space. I redid my spaces because I hadn't been really taking care of me and my home energy. So I was working with clients, and they were having such success and everything. And then my daughter always says to me, have you checked your chi? And because, when something's not going on, they all go, are your ducks in a row, or have you checked your chi, or stuff like that. So I went through and really did our entire space. And I did my daughter's space, and we just went through and we kind of, blessed everything. We cleansed everything. We just did a whole big environmental energy sweep of our spaces. And I think that was one of the things that got us through. Like, human chi is a very big part of Feng Shui. You need to have, it's a third of the components of what goes on in your space. But so you can have all the Feng Shui right in your energy, in your environmental energy, but you've got to get your human chi doing something as well. And I think that's what the environmental chi does. It gets you in a good place to be able to motivate yourself and get things done and move in the right direction that you should be moving. So
Gosh, look, amazing. And I know you and I have talked quite a bit before about Feng Shui and I just love hearing you talk about it. I feel your passion, and it's beautiful. And I was actually reading one of your social posts the other day, and then I read the blog about human luck. And one of the things I loved what you said is that you went through all the different types of luck, which I thought was really fascinating. Then you talked about the human luck, and then you talked about how it's very much about your mindset. So I thought that was really interesting. I wondered if you would share a little bit about what human luck even is in a Feng Shui sense.
So human luck is, I always call it the get off the couch luck. It's the luck that motivates you. Like, nothing will happen while you're sitting on the couch. I mean, seriously, nothing is going to happen while you're sitting on the couch. So we've got to move, but we need our head space to be able to convince us and to challenge us at times that we're moving in the right space, or just to get us going. Opportunities are all around us all the time, and I'm such a believer in that. And if we're sitting in one space not moving, then we're going to miss them. Like, they're not going to come rolling through the door and slap us across the face and go, hey, I'm an opportunity, don't miss me. They're just going to seep in quietly, and it might be a word, a conversation, a phone call, something you read, something you're given, or someone you meet. It's little subtle coincidences and synchronicities that are the opportunities. And then your human chi has to do something with them. Like, you've got to take that then and do something, even, you know, just something little, but make the call, send the email, whatever it is. But I know Rob and I are amazing manifestors. Like, we actually surprise ourselves sometimes, because we kind of go through periods where we think, oh, we're not really getting where we want to be, and we're sort of a bit stuck. And then all of a sudden we'll put our minds to something, and then suddenly it'll come up as if we've just, you know, someone will mention to us about something, or we'll see someone that can, you know. And noble people are part of human luck, and noble people are people who've been there and done it before, who can inspire you. And that happens to me all the time. Like, you know, yourself, for instance, like, you know, you came at a time where I was just fumbling around with social media and stuff. And so it's like, suddenly the universe and everything put someone there. But if I didn't actually book you and do that, it would have passed by and I'd have missed it. So that's where human luck is so, so important. You've got to do something with it.
And where you bring about the mindset, so you've definitely got to be in the right mindset. You don't need to even then be able to embrace it and say, yes, I'm ready for change. Let me take that on.
Yeah, I think yes, I do agree with that. But I know when we had Georgie unwell, my head was not in a good place. Like, we were leaving for Europe, a dream trip, and so we were leaving the Saturday that she actually we found out she had to have the surgery. And it was just like our heads were all over the place. Like, we were going through a whole heap of emotions together, and we were trying to comfort each other, but we couldn't. But I noticed at the time there were little things that were coming up for me, or different people would be around, or we'd get, you know, we were just at the hospital and just the right person was there right when they needed them, and things like that. So we started to get more hope. And I think hope comes into a lot of it, because when you're not really in a good space in your head, if you just kind of put out there that, you know, you just hope that something's going to turn around, and you just say it enough, then suddenly little things will start, and then that gets you on a roll, and then that gets that moving even quicker and more sustained, and even then bigger things will start to come through for you. So I think the most important thing with mindset is, don't believe that nothing's happening for you, because it is. You're just not seeing it right now. And you might need to just, even though I want you off the couch, you might need to sit on the couch for a minute and just see what's coming through for you. But often there is always something happening. It's just you may not quite see the little things that lead to the big things.
That's beautifully put. And, you know, I think we can all think of people that are definitely not in the right mindset. They're not allowing that human luck to come in, because, you know, I can just think of someone this morning that said to me, that's just my luck. Everything always bad happens to me. Like, nothing ever good happens to me. It's just the way that it is for me. And I'm like, wow, well, if you only look at negative stuff, that's all you're ever going to see, isn't it? It's very hard to see the positives when you're completely stuck in the negatives. And it felt really sad. And they were talking about it, you know, with to do with their website, and then their car, and then their this, and then that. And I thought, I could probably do that too if I wanted to. I could probably list 10 things that weren't going right at the moment, but I choose to list the 20 things or 5 things that are going well at the moment. And it's about where you put that focus, isn't it?
I think it's finding little things that you're grateful for. And I know it's around a lot, and I know we hear a lot about mindset, meditation, gratefulness, and all that. But, you know, I remember when my kids were little, every Sunday night would be, what are you grateful for, you know? And even my daughter's kids do it now. Like, what are you grateful for, you know? And they'll do it in the car sometimes. It's like, so what are you grateful for today? And I think if we look at even small things that we can be grateful for, it starts to change how we look at the big things and everything else around us. And, you know, just just this little things. It doesn't have to be big stuff all the time, because all those little things add up to something great happening. And you know, Georgie's tumor was 2 mil from her optic nerve. I mean, 2 mil. That's all we had to save her. So that 2 mil was our hope, and the fact that they could get a scalpel down that 2 mil, we knew 2 mil. So 2 mil's nothing. Like, you know, we want meters of stuff, but all she needed was 2 mil to be okay. And so it's look for those little tiny things. Find the 2 mil in your life and in what's going on for you. And I know some people are going through terrible times at the moment, you know, with everything that's been going on, but find your 2 mil. That's all you need to find each morning or each day or before you go to bed.
And I just think that you summed that up so find your 2 mil. It's an absolutely magical way of looking at it, and so true. And when my husband had his accident, which is, we're coming up to nearly 15 years, and he was in hospital for a whole year. So my daughter was 4 at the time, and we moved up to be near him up there in Brisbane. And I realized very, very quickly that I was either going to sink or swim. There was there's nothing in between. There was no doggy paddling. It was one or the other. And it was up to me how, like, we couldn't change what had happened to him. He was going to be paralyzed for life. That's it. But what we could change is how I was going to handle it. And I couldn't change how he was going to handle it. Like, that was his journey. For our daughter, that was her journey. For me, that was my journey. That was a really massively instrumental time in my life to realize I actually can't control anything. And so very quickly, maybe it was a month or 2 into the journey, that I realized that the only way, and interesting that you said that, you know, it's a lot of people talk about that now, because at the time I didn't hear anybody say anything like that to me, but it was that I just knew intrinsically that every morning, the first thing I did when I woke up was going to have to be think about what am I grateful for? Yeah. Because if I couldn't focus my very first thought in the morning on something good, then I knew it was going to set me off in a bad way. Because it wasn't just that he had his accident, there were many things that happened that were horrendous after that as well for him, with his journey of his, he broke his neck. So I started that little thing of wake up and what am I grateful for? And some days it was so hard. Some days the only thing I could think of is that he was still alive, or I was still alive, or that we had a daughter or whatever. But then over time, what I could really be grateful for was just became really massive and really, really good. And now, nearly 15 years later, I'm still living that way. And during the floods, a few weeks ago, and we had my family come and stay with us because, you know, their house was chronically flood affected, etc., and they lost their car and all of that. And then it was very easy to become very wound up in how horrendous that also was. So we again started the thing of, you know, but this time instead, you know, doing it verbally, like you were saying with your family, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And actually that reminded me when you were talking to me about that, is one thing we've always done with our family dinners for birthdays, you know, we bring them all together, is that we go around and we say what we totally love about that person whose birthday it is. Nice. And the kids have always found it a little bit awkward at times or whatever, but actually the other day we were talking, my niece and I have a very similar days for our birthday, so we always share ours, and she said, I can't wait till it's my turn for everybody to tell me what they love about me. Just thought, how gorgeous is that? Awesome. Yeah. And of course, something, nobody's allowed to say the same thing as what someone else said. So, you know, it makes you really think hard. And I've always found it a really fun thing to do. So yeah, I'm totally in agreement with you that coming up with new ways of looking at things and sharing it and all of that is just so incredibly important. So tell me, Leanne, what advice would you give to somebody for a woman just starting out in business, considering all the things that you've learned on your journey in business?
I think that it's okay if you can't leave something that you know is not right for you, because I think that's important, because often it's who we identify with. It's who we people know us as, people recognize us as. It's kind of like that badge that we're wearing that says, this is who I am. And the person that we want to be or who we want to become the badge isn't quite as bright. So it's kind of like, it's okay to be stuck in that place for a while, but if you have the opportunity and you can get out more smoothly than what I did, then I certainly would suggest, transitioning it much more smoothly than what I did. When you kind of know, because like I'd been resigning for probably 2 years, and but I always thought I could make it different. I could always make it better. It was always going to get better, and it just wasn't for me and our family. So I think that before it's too late, I was lucky. I had an awesome husband who supported me 110%. He wasn't going anywhere, but he didn't like who I was. And he was blunt enough to tell me, which was very brave of him at the time because I was quite fragile. So, but I think if you've got people around you saying to you, are you sure this is what you should be doing? Are you okay? Is this where you should be? And they're asking you because they care. I think it's time for you to stop and think about, well, maybe I could be doing something different, and get into the chi that's in the north, because that's the chi that's going to help you this year, the north and the southeast. So get in there and start thinking about what else can I do, and start being creative and working with the nobles and looking out for that 2 mil of things to be grateful for, and look out for the little subtle breezes of opportunity that are coming, and they're trying to get your attention.
I've got a few questions that just come out of that little moment, because there was so much gold. It was just flying at me. So the first thing about the nobles, though, I never knew until you were just talking tonight about the nobles, and 100% agree with that as well. So as you know, I also have my own business coaches, and what we need to do, and what you've already said, is find someone that's done what you want to be doing and go and learn from them. So, I really believe every coach needs a coach. Every business owner needs a coach. And some people need a life coach or a holistic coach or whatever it is. But learning for those that have done it already, I think, is just magic. Or learning from those that you really resonate with. That's probably a big one as well, because why would you want to learn from someone that you didn't actually really find?
That's important.
So I'm really thrilled that now I understand about what the nobles is. I think that's just wonderful, really wonderful. But one thing that you just said about making sure that everybody does go, what did you say, something about the north?
Yeah, so the north has our noble chi in it this year, but it's also around business and career. So if you need to make a change, or you want some support in the energy of your home to do that, or you feel that there's something more out there for you, then sit in that area, use that area, and journal, just write, or if you meditate. I'm not a big meditator because I struggle with it. My brain just won't slow down. But meditate, journal, talk to someone, have a phone conversation with someone in there, and look for the people that are coming across your path. So, and use your human chi to make the call. It's like when Jenny mentioned you to me, I could have gone, oh yeah, that sounds great, and not done anything. You've got to make the call. When someone gives you the name of someone, check it out. Check it out, because they could be your noble.
Yeah, I agree. I just love that so much. Now, what I did while you were talking was I pulled up the compass on my phone, because I'm like, I need to know more about this north, and I pulled it up, and it's just there. So interestingly enough, on my property, my office is a little bit away from the house, but it looks like it's in the north of the property.
Oh,
is that
nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yes.
So what should people do then when their thing is not in the north? Should they put their chair in the north of that space?
Just sit in the north of your garden. Just go out in the garden and just take a walk, or just read something there, or just sit in the space. If it's your shower, just stand in the shower and think about, what do I want? Just ask. You've got to ask out loud. So just say it out loud, and don't be I think for so many women, they think what they've got's their lot. You know, they think that this is, you know, I'm doing pretty good, so, you know, I should be grateful. It's fine to be grateful, but oh my goodness, it's amazing what else you can be or become if you actually push that boundary the next few rungs up. And, you know, and I think that's so important that you just push past that fear that you might have that you're not good enough or you don't know enough. If you don't know enough, or you need skills, then you need to get into the Southeast and start studying something, because that's where that chi is for you this year. And particularly in April, in the South, that's awesome. So if you know, be realistic. If you don't have the skills or you don't aren't qualified enough, then do something about it. That's using your human chi. So yeah.
Amazing, Leanne. So what's the best thing for people to do right now? Do they go on your website and have a look at your products, and will buying a product help them shift some stuff in their place? Or is it the better option to jump on a chi chat with you and learn about it a little bit more?
Yeah, look, definitely jump on and grab a free chi chat with me, because products are great because they represent the elements and they represent intention. But you know, just buying a product doesn't always mean that something's going to change, because we need to look at what's going on in your space. So so definitely jump on and grab a chi chat, and then we can look at, like, even in that 30 minutes that you have with me, it seems really short, but I can help you with just the annuals even, and you can start to make a few changes that will just totally change your world around. Absolutely, without fail, 100%.
Tell me, Leanne, then, what's your favorite product of yours that you sell that you have in your own home?
Oh, well, you can see behind me here, I've got 3 Tai Shens. He's the money god. So
Great.
And look, I'm not ashamed to say that money is important, because what I get to do with that money, you know, is just, that just brings me joy every day when I know that, you know, when the floods were on and things, I could send money to others that needed help. And that's where I look at wealth from. I don't look at wealth as being rich. I look at wealth as having the opportunity to be able to do and help the people that I love and I want to help. So definitely Tai Shen, the money god, and then Kuan Yin is my mother god as well. So I have her to balance out the yin and yang of everything. So yeah.
I love it. That's so awesome. So completely awesome. So tell me, you've been part of the Positive Passionate Businesswoman for quite some time.
Yeah.
So what is it that you like about networking with other women?
Look, I'm really introverted. So I really struggle to get out and to go to a lot of networking things. It's just not what I do. It's not who I am. But I find in the huddle that they're just so great. Like, I mean, we're all just in our space because we're Zooming as well. So, you know, we're all just in our place, in our space. We're living life. It's reality. We're not trying to be anything that we're not. And there's always someone that can offer you some sort of hint or idea, and just the, you know, just the little life events that we talk about and things that just make you feel like you're human at times, you know, and you know that someone will mention something and you go, oh gosh, yes, I just had that happen as well, so I'm okay. You know, it just makes you feel okay. You're okay in who you are. So.
That's so good, isn't it, when you recognize that?
Yeah.
I worked with a client years ago, and her whole tagline in her business was, I am enough. And I was yes, how beautiful is that, when we can come to realize that, and when we are able to surround ourselves with women that also have that same vision or whatever. We are enough. It's pretty magical, isn't it? Pretty magical.
It is. And I think being in a group of women who are all on a journey at different levels, and the fact that we're all trying to learn and because things change so quickly. Like, I mean, let's face it, social media and marketing is just changing so fast that if it's not your business, you haven't got a hope of keeping up some days. So,
and even when it is your business, it's overwhelming at times.
So knowing that you're going to get those updates and that refresher information, and you're just gonna, if you're not sure, you can just reach out and ask the question, and you'll get an answer. And I mean, look, it has been. I've had moments in the last 12 months where, I've just thought, oh, I'm just going to retire. I'm done. I'm just going to go and do that whole nanny thing. And my daughter laughs at me and says, right, it'll last about a week. But I think what it is that because you don't want to be a negative nanny, and you just don't want to be like, constantly it's not working. But you need to share some of that, so that you find out what's not working. So you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to say, oh, this just isn't, I'm having a really bad day today because this isn't working. And then someone will give you the answer, and again, there's that opportunity that's coming in and things like that. So, and then your human chi is you got to do the work. So, I think that's what's important too, because it's that little boost that you keep. And I so agree that anyone in business, I don't care what level you're at, you need to have somebody above you that's been where you've been and that can get you where you want to go. That's really important. Yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree. I just feel like you've shared so many gold nuggets. You have to watch the replay and go through it, because my brain has just been going on overdrive, thinking of all the things.
Oh, thank you.
Magic, Leanne, absolutely magic. Thank you so much for taking the time
That's all right. I loved it.
This evening. I just love chatting with you too. It's just wonderful. So for all of you that would love to connect with Leanne, we'll have her details in the caption of this live podcast, and it'll be loaded up on YouTube and all the places after this, so you can rewatch it if you've come in part way through. Or obviously if you're watching the replay later on. So you can connect with Leanne. As she suggested, book that chi chat first, and then she can chat with you about the products in her house. Like, for example, it might be the Sai Shen Money God. Maybe you need that in your house. And anyway, also grab that compass app on your phone, because that was super interesting when I found out there is the North. Because I'm not very, I'm not going to say I'm not very good, because that's quite negative, but it's not my forte. The directions and things like that. So it's very interesting. So Leanne, thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
No, thank you for having me. It's been awesome. Loved it.
Awesome. You have a wonderful night. So I've been chatting with Leanne Carius from the Feng Shui Store and More. She's a Feng Shui consultant and also has an online store with products that anybody can buy, so retail, and also you can get in touch with her with if you've got a shop that want to stock products. So she also works with wholesale customers too. And I'm Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media, and we are here chatting for positive, passionate business women. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you so much, Leanne, for being wonderful.
Thank you.
Great.